Alright. So, I guess the white hair girl finished telling her story, about how she married Jacopo and everything. Again, that I think that's supposed to show, or rather, it's supposed to make you sympathize with Jacopo a little bit, but I still don't like him. Anyway, this is something that actually happened to another maid. Alright, well, who's this, actually? She heard a sound in the middle of the night. A sound like dripping water. At first, she thought it was raining, so she looked through the window, and there wasn't a cloud in the sky to cover the stars. Maybe it's a faucet, she thought, so she stepped out of her room and into the corridor. Compared to her room, it was an unearthly chilly. It was unearthly chilly. The maid regretted not bringing something to cover herself with. But that didn't make any sense. Normally, the temperature wasn't that much colder outside her room. Her nightclothes had always been more than enough for a trip to the lavatory. Wondering what the reason could be, she made her way toward the sound, but then she realized something. There were no faucets in the direction she was going, rather, she was headed toward a hall. The mansion, where she asserts, had many halls. This one was far off in the corner of the house, the least used hall of them all. It had a higher roof, but not a lot of space, so it was difficult to make good use of. It also had a somewhat heavy air to it, a very curious room. It was the kind of place you might assign someone to clean as part of their hazing. Anyway, when the maid realized the sound was coming from that particular hall, she, as you might expect, let out an uncomfortable sigh. But there might be a leak, and having noticed, she couldn't simply ignore it, So, as much as she hesitated, she pushed open the doors to the hall. There's nobody there, and it didn't look like anything was leaking either. There's no puddles or water stains or anywhere to be found. But she could still hear the sound. Drip, drip, getting louder and louder. Slowly stepping further into the room, looking left then right, then left again, she searched for the source of the sound, coming to a stop in the center of the hall. She stood there still, quiet, and then, a chilly spot on the nape of her neck. With a little yelp, she reached back to feel her neck, but it wasn't wet. Confused, she slowly, warily tilted her head backward. Ah! And there was a bloody skeleton from the ceiling! Ta-da! Okay, so someone was telling a scary story. We already, this visual novel in general is supposed to be like a somewhat horror-ish kind of story in the first place, but there's a scary story in the scary story. Anyway, ah! Says Jacopo. Ah, that's rich, amazing. Oh my god, you scream like a little girl. Mara, you little... My god, are you men or children? This is my house, and I would rather you didn't talk about it like that. Whose words were those again? Shut your mouth. How do you know about that? Were you eavesdropping? And nothing, I do not care for the sort of stupid fantastical tales you women so love to pass around. Because they scare you? You've never been able to handle anything scary, Jacopo. Well, don't glare at me like that. You're gonna destroy my sides. So, did you come here for the sole purpose of telling me that cheap tripe? Acting tough out of the fact it just makes you look twice as much of a wuss. Well, I mean, I did make up a good half of it, but the rain really did hear a sound in the middle of the night. It came from the back hall of this very mansion. Did you know? They say it used to be the chapel. Again, I have no interest in your women's little ghost stories. Is that so? You sure you're not just scared? Maria. Well, that said, the rumors aren't completely unfounded. This is a pretty old mansion. It has a lot of work done to it. Kinda feels like it's barely holding itself together. Like a big old quilt with pieces from all different time periods. You know what I'm saying? Back hall is one of the oldest patches. There's a huge window in the far end, and supposedly there used to be stained glass in it. It was a depiction of an archangel, they say. Such a shame. I wondered when it was broken. If it were still there, I bet it'd be worth a fortune. I find that hard to believe. First of all, why would anyone put a chapel inside a mansion? You've got a point, I guess. Now, how about you do some actual work instead of distracting yourself with all this nonsense? I do work, but the other maids can be a bit nasty, you know? Dealing with other women is like walking on glass. Am I to blame for that? What if I said you were? Don't give me that look. You're just not fond of me, simple as that. Nothing you can do about it. Is that so? Oh yeah, I was talking to the madam, and she was telling me you used to be quite the gentleman. Were you perhaps actually in love back then? You sure don't act like it, so it's easy to miss, but I guess you're not made entirely of steel. Just like when you were younger, you're still... Do not speak of that. Interesting. So okay, by the way, so Maria, it seems like she's a maid here, but it seems she's talking quite casually with Jacob, so I guess they know each other, so that's the reason. I was wondering why they were like, you know, so chummy. For the most part. The past is not worth remembering. It's unnecessary. So to you, the past exists just to be cast aside. Nah, it's not important. You don't want me to talk about it, I won't talk about it. But your wife? Never mind. I'll leave you be. I have to get back to work soon, and I'll be staring down the headmaid's arctic smile. Alright. If the fancy strikes me, I'll drop by and you can trade more ghost stories. Maria. Well, I have no ghost stories. No, not that. I have not forgotten those days. But, no, it's... I'll be off then. Alright. If the fancy strikes you drop by, we can trade something other than ghost stories. What I tell you, I'll consider it. Goodbye. Okay, so it appears something happened between them in the past. Also, new pose, I guess. You see, he's a lot more edgy like this. It's like, my heart, you know, is like it's so empty and I don't know. It's like a void that can never be filled. Anyway, God damn it, is what he says. God damn it, I can't escape anything. Woe is me. They have grown to be so beautiful. Such a wonderful fragrance. The scent of roses is so calming. I wonder what that is. Would it cause any trouble if I picked one? Oh, here's the maid again. Hello there. Out for a midnight stroll, are you? Quite a peculiar hobby. Madam? I cannot spend as much time as I would like outside during the day, so I end up coming up at night. I apologize if I startled you. Oh no, not at all. There is a chilling, captivating beauty to the sight of your snow-white form, standing there in the moonlight garden. I would hardly... What are you doing out so late? I saw a figure through the window. On the slight chance it might be a burglar, I thought it my responsibility to ensure they did not break in. It was also the middle of the night when the grocer's servant broke into their safe. Getting some deja vu here. News that spread quite far, but I'm sure you would have heard about it. Oh, but Guest Mask was in prison some time ago. Dear me, cannot seem to get my head out of the past. Do you intend to give that white rose to someone? Yes. I was thinking about giving it to my husband. While I expect he has little fondness for such feminine tastes, the scent of flowers has a truly calming effect. He might find it relaxing when he needs a reprieve from his work. Oh, is that so? You are very kind-hearted. Speaking of white roses, the rose he meant to give you was the same shade of white. Oh, he? But when you touched it, it turned a deep shade of red. Okay, just flashback to that just to remind you, I guess. There was but a single white rose in the garden, so he was unable to give it to you as he wished. In its place, he had a decorative rose fashioned for you. What exactly are you referring to? Oh dear, do you not remember? Then I am to assume you have forgotten what happened to the rose accessory as well. He was unable to give you that to you either. But that time, because you rejected the gift. Or by that time, because you rejected the gift. I'm not criticizing you for that decision, of course. You had a perfectly good reason for not accepting it. Heartbroken from having lost you, he buried the rose in the garden. Over the years, the roses in the garden withered away, and in their place grew a thick, unsightly nest of weeds. Many years later, the accessory was dug up by a beast, and curiously enough, had not a speck of rust on it. Beast? You do not remember him either. The foreign man who, through his interaction with you, almost regained his humanity. I'm sorry. I have no idea what you speak of. The only gift I have ever received from a man is my Fennicus wheel. And furthermore, I have only lived in this mansion for a year. While the garden was not as thriving as it is now, it was certainly not in ruins when I arrived. Because I had been taking care of it, yes. But for whatever reason, by my hands alone, I was unable to make it into anything quite as splendid as it is now. Once you arrived and began to work on it, however, just look around, you restored it to its former glory. To the magnificence of the flaxen hair family's time. I promise I'm not trying to fault you for anything. Now that I think about it, it makes sense you would not remember. Though you are still you, you are different than before. Different, though, not in a sense you're a wholly distinct person. Tell me, is your name... Again? My name is... Yes, but you should already know that. Again? More proof that you are indeed you. Did you expect that your current name is pronounced the same as the name of the person you're waiting for? What are you talking about? I have met you many times, and I know of your past, of events that transpired long ago. I'm telling you the truth, I first came to this mansion just a year ago. Until then, I had never left my country or even set foot out of my own house. We did not have any servants either. So where, then, are you saying we met? This mansion, of course. But I'm telling you the truth. It was a year ago, shortly after my parents fell ill and received an offer for my marriage. I knew something had to be done. I knew it, and so I'm telling the truth. If that is what you remember, then I do not doubt you. But I also suspect I know why you seem so flustered. Are there moments when your memories seem hazy? When it seems like important details have fallen through the cracks? You needn't fret. One day, eventually, you shall remember all. One day. Alright. Well, at this point, I feel like the game is just hinting towards you the fact that, this might be spoilers, but, I think I know who we are, The one listening to the maid's story and going through all the doors. At least, that's what it seems. That, the game is hinting towards a particular person. It's probably obvious just by saying that, but I don't want to say it in case it's like a big spoiler. Maybe that's the big twist, but, I already... Unless, if that is the big twist, I already know the big twist, though. I don't know. Anyway, unless it's like a double twist. I was tricked by the second story about Yukimasa and everything, so maybe not, Might be like a double twist. Anyway, what the hell is this? A white rose? Did she leave this here? A flower? What does she think she's doing? She trying to aggravate me? That garden. That damn rose garden is the whole problem. Flowers serve no purpose but to deceive. That garden is a sign of weakness. Has no place in this house. Approximately a week had passed since then. The white-haired girl was, as usual, spending her time in her room reading, staying inside the house. Then Maria barged in. Madam! Madam! Oh my, you're out of breath. What happened? What happened is why we have a big problem. The garden! The rose garden! Garden? How the roses you put so much love and care into growing are being chopped down. We'll lose them all if we don't hurry. Upon hearing the news, the white-haired girl dashed from her room and toward the garden, with Maria following close behind. When she arrived, she saw a dozen or so sweaty, rugged men at work. Jacopo, Jacopo? I'm saying Jacopo now. Jacopo? Actually, I don't know. Maybe Jacopo's better. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. Jacopo shouting orders. The men clearly had no concept of how much a single flower was worth, no concern whatsoever for their beauty. But they mercilessly, thoughtlessly hacked away the shrubs like they were not but weeds. Each flower they tore from the earth extinguished another of the many lives the white-haired girl had put so much time and effort in tending for. Jacopo, what are you? Oh, hello, Maria. I didn't expect you would come with her. Why would you do... Why? Why, it goes without saying. This house has no need of a garden. Damn flowers have no place here. Might as well do something worthwhile with the soil. A miniature railroad would be a better use of the space, certainly a great deal easier on the eyes. I could even get my hands on some genuine wheels. The same wheels being used in the revolutionary Transcontinental Railroad. 10 or 20 years down the line, they'll be worth a fortune. Jacopo, you know how much this garden meant to me, don't you? Did it honestly have no place here? Flowers have a calming effect on people. They give you peace. They're not by any means worthless. So you're saying that white rose was your passive-aggressive way of telling me to calm down? Not at all. I simply thought you... At the end of the day, you're just using it for your own purposes, to trick and deceive. To you, this rose garden was nothing but... Jacopo! You've gone too far. This isn't right! Gone too far? This is my mansion. What I do with my property is my business. With that rose arch out of the picture, we'll have a better view. There won't be anything blocking the sun any longer. Weren't you supposed to be sensitive to sunlight? Spend too much time out here and you're liable to fall ill. Get back inside now. You too, Maria. The poor thing, though she did not say a word, was surely thinking, are you truly that determined to rob me of my sanctuary? The words tore around her head, unable to make the final journey to her lips. She stood there looking at her own feet as her husband marched off, and listened to the screams of the roses being raped. And being torn off by Jacopo, the garden reverted to a state of ruined desolation. A shame, after all the work that went into restoring it to the beauty it had under the flaxen-haired family. As Jacopo had said, in its place went scraps of metal, train wheels, prototype molds, and carbon rods. These items may have had value for him, but I certainly don't think it was worth robbing his wife of a place that made her feel comfortable just so he could store them there. Besides, I was rather fond of the rose garden myself. The roses seemed to invoke a sense of nostalgia in me. I felt as though somewhere far beyond the edge of my memories, I had seen another garden of roses, modest though it may have been, but I cannot remember when it was. Does that come as a surprise to you? I am quite sure there are periods of the mansion's history of which I am not aware. But in any case, Jacopo had caused many people great pain in order to repurpose that garden for himself, and he continued to walk all over his wife. Whenever she tried to do something kind for him, he would brush her off, saying that's not her place. He paid no mind whatsoever to the looks of dejection that rose to her face each time he rejected her. I was beginning to wonder if everything she had said about the man he had been a year earlier was actually true. And if it was true, could a person really go through such a drastic change of heart in such a short time? What do you think, Master? Well, no. I have spoken enough about me already. I seem to be talking a lot about myself this time. But as hardly appropriate behavior for a maid. Now, let us return to our tale. That evening, the white-haired girl sat in her room staring sorrowfully at her Fennicus wheel. A small mirror before her, she tried spinning the paper disc, but it was just not the same as before. Her husband was not there at her side, and even more critically, there was not a smile on her face. And then she heard a faint knock on her door. Who is it? It's me, madam, it's me. May I come in? Oh, Maria. Of course, come in. What are you doing here this time of the night? Was just wondering how you were doing. Should I have left you alone? Oh, it's no trouble at all. I'm always glad to have you. You're making me blush, madam. I got the feeling you were a little down in the dumps. So I'm not here because I need to be. You just kinda ended up here, I guess. Maria. Sorry, I'm not making any sense. I can be a bit of a busybody, you know? Trouble with boundaries, I guess. Never been able to fix that. No, I don't consider you intrusive at all. I cannot count how many times your bright smile and cheerful energy have shone a light on me when things were dark. If I didn't have you, I would have given up already. You seem to see right through me. Even now, you're exactly right. I'm feeling a little dispirited. That garden was an even bigger life raft than I thought. Perhaps I'm being overly dramatic, but the roses were almost like children to me. I get it, I do. You put your heart and soul to tending that garden. It was obvious how much you love them. Of course it's gonna hurt watching a bunch of men stomp all over your flowers and care for them like your own children. Now I know I said this already, but you don't need to force yourself to put up with him, really. You don't have to bend to his will just because you're a woman. You can survive without him. Anytime you want to walk away, that's your choice. I mean, I'd sure be lonely if you left, madam. But your happiness is more important than any of that. So, thank you, Maria. I truly do appreciate it. But I would still like to wait for the day I can see his warm smile once more. You say so. Well, in that case, guess I have to be there to back you up. It'll be alright. You leave everything to the Holy Virgin. I'll have a stupid grin on my face no matter how down you're feeling. You really are the reincarnation of the Mother of God, aren't you? Oh, I told you, it's just a joke. Whatever. Say, madam, how about a dance? A dance? At this time of night? Yep, and since it's so late, no loud music. All you get is a little whistling courtesy of me. But this room is too small for... Well, we'll use the Great Hall. Wouldn't that put us in everyone else's way? You'll probably complain about the noise, too. No need to worry. Jacob was out inspecting some factory or something today. After that, he's got a meeting, so he'll be staying the night elsewhere. The rest of the maids are in the rooms chatting away. No one will notice. Where I come from, we dance all the time. We take, eat, drink, and be merry to heart. No food or drink for us, but we absolutely can dance. Dance is a great way to forget all your cares. I'm not much of a dancer. No big deal, nobody's watching. Come on, put on a little fancy perfume, well, let's have some fun. I don't have any perfume, though. Didn't think so. You got all the right ingredients, madam, but you don't try to make anything special out of them. You got so much potential, but not even a decent-sized wardrobe. At the very least, you should wear some perfume. Which is why, ta-da, I brought some with me. The maids are in love with this stuff. It's a big hit with all the women all over the country. The base is vanilla and it's got several other fragrances mixed in. Give it a try. It smells divine. But Maria, come on, what's the harm? Just a little splash on the wrist, like so. What'd you think? You're right. It smells wonderful. Doesn't it? So you like it? Yes, very much so. Excellent. Now off we go to the Great Hall. Are we really gonna dance? You bet your butt we are. It's not healthy to hole up in your room all day. I know you can't handle a lot of sunlight, but you still gotta have some fun and move your body. Come on, let's go. Oh, Maria. Just some water. Though she looked outwardly uncertain as Maria led her forward, hand around her wrists, the white-haired girl seemed to be enjoying herself on the inside. Having spent her life without a single friend, she never dreamed the day would come when she'd find herself being dragged through the empty halls of Dark Mansion by another woman. Maria's presence seemed to shine a light upon the quiet corridor. It would have been a very lonely trek without her. Maria spun around, gave an impish smirk, and raised her pointer finger to her lips with a soft shh. The sight of it caused the white-haired girl to chuckle quietly. The two of them on their way to their secret private ball were like two adolescent girls. In short order, they arrived at the Great Hall. My heart was pounding all the way here. And what's there to be nervous about? It's not like you're breaking any rules. Only kids get in trouble for staying out late. Only once you've grown up, you're responsible for yourself. I will say, though, that it seems rather odd for two women to dance together. Oh, if you're having a good time, what does it matter what's between your legs? Where I come from, there are dances where families lock arms and a big ring go around circles. So who's to say two girls can't have some fun together? Who's to say two girls can't have some fun together? Hey, wink, wink. No, I imagine you had many good moments with your family. well, I don't have a family anymore. What? Alright, so I'll show you how it's done. Avoiding the question. Watch carefully, because you're up next. Oh, okay. With a wide grin on her face, Maria began whistling softly and prancing across the floor with an energetic rhythm. It was not the kind of complicated dance you see at fancy parties. The motions were simple, flowing, unembellished. A folk dance, I suppose you might call it. She seemed to be improvising a little bit as well. But in any event, the white-haired girl was captivated. Despite it being a sequence of steps anyone could replicate, Maria breathed life into the dance. She was neither as lithe as an acrobat, nor as light on her feet as a professional dancer. She was her own lively, beautiful self. For a moment there, I read that as elf, you know? A lively, beautiful elf? She was an elf this whole time. Now, Maria twirled in place, the skirt of her maid uniform billowing gently up around her. With a smile, she extended her hand toward the white-haired girl. She hesitated for a moment, but as if being pulled forward by some invisible force, she took Maria's hand. Hand in hand, Maria ushered the white-haired girl into her dance. It was just the two of them, but you could almost see the crowd forming around them. The other people stepping up to join in. Well, that's it, madam. Doing great. Now lift your leg up. Good. Spin like so. This is not easy, Maria. I'm having trouble following along. Oh, you could do it. Looking good so far. You're a natural, madam. Oh, Maria. I won't fall for your flattery. I mean it. The whispers of the two girls. Their muffled laughs. Step, hop, step, step. The rustling of fabric. Many different soft sounds layered atop one another, creating a little bubble of happiness in the center of the hall. The white-haired girl's movements were a great deal clumsier than Maria's, but Maria would never disparage her for that. On the contrary, she showered her with praise. As flustered as the white-haired girl appeared, I imagined she was quite pleased. Before long, the tightness in her chest muscles... No, the tightness for face muscles loosened. A smile spread across her lips, and she began to brighten up. See? What'd I tell you? Fun, huh? Yes, I'm quite surprised. Both that I can dance and I enjoy doing it so much. Glad to hear it. They exchanged looks and both laughed. That might have been the first time I ever seen the white-haired girl so delighted. However, because of her infirmity, she quickly found herself out of breath, her porcelain skin flushed red. Maria immediately stopped for a break. She could surely have continued dancing for some time yet, but Maria was conscientious of the white-haired girl's physical condition. She looked over at Maria regretfully. My apologies. If only I had more stamina. You know, if only I leveled up my endurance. I'm hardly a suitable partner for you, Maria. Sure you are. This is all to cheer you up, madam. As long as you're having fun, nothing else matters. And heck, I'm enjoying myself plenty too. What do you think? Would it be nice to do this again sometime? Whenever you're feeling down, let's dance. If you really do enjoy dancing with a frail girl like me, then I would be glad to. Have a little more confidence in yourself, madam. You're so pretty and kind-hearted. I have lots of fun when I'm with you. So you don't need to be so hard on yourself, got it? Thank you. The pleasure's mine. It's an absolute honor to have the rare opportunity to see such a bright smile on your face, madam. My apologies for keeping you out so late. I should get back to my room. Oh, I didn't even realize what time it was. I'm more than up for a little more gum flapping. You have improved my mood more than adequately. I would not want you to be tired for work tomorrow. Okay. Well then, let's get out of here. Yes, let's. Smiles on both of their faces, they made to exit the great hall. However, before they reached the door, it swung open. A man's towering shadow cast the two women into darkness, his cold, bitter glare fixed on them. If it had even had the faintest premonition this might happen, or if I had the faintest premonition that happened, I would have done anything in my power to stop the two cheery girls on the way to the hall. But I am internally powerless. What are you doing? Standing before them in the doorway was the master of the house, Jacopo. Ah, I thought you would not be back until tomorrow. And how would you know that? No, forget that. Does my staying elsewhere has any effect on you? You were just waiting for this opportunity, weren't you? No, what would I possibly want you out of the house for? I'm sure you know better than anyone. What? What is that smell? Perfume? When did you get perfume? I have to say, you seem to be having quite the time. Look at you. You're out of breath, red as a beet. I made the right decision coming back. Where the hell were you going? No, I wasn't going. Jacobo, calm down, seriously. You shut it. Now you're taking this tramp side? I've told you before, you're not to leave this house without first consulting me. Or do you mean to tell me you've forgotten? God, your ears just are for show. Or just for show, alright? They're better than that. They even throw out the parts you don't want to hear. No, I swear I wasn't doing anything, you... Silence. I have no interest in your excuses. You're always watching the shadows, observing, trying not to step on anyone's toes. In the back of your mind, you're mocking me. No, Listen up, and listen good. You just try stepping out of line again. You just try disgracing me again. You will not get away with it. For the love of God, get back to your room now. You too, Maria. Alright. God, what is this sickeningly sweet smell? How utterly infuriating. It'll take forever to get this off me. I always thought you had at least some sense of taste. Okay. Why did he have to disparage her so? What did she do wrong? What did she deserve to deserve that? You know, well, I mean, either way, I still hate him. But, you know, Mario, you should have explained what you were doing, you know? You just danced low in the ballroom, that's all. You should explain that. But I guess, you know, it probably been a bad idea, considering she's a maid and everything. They know each other, but maybe Jacobo would, you know, just be so angry that he would just fire her or something, which would be not great, I guess. I don't know. And what she did to deserve that? She did nothing whatsoever wrong. She deserved none of the ridicule he showered her with. However, she was not a strong-willed woman. She did not have the courage to retort to the man yelling at her. You know, by the way, this just reminds me of Fate Stay Night, actually. The white-haired girl is Sakura, you know, and Jacopo is Shinji, you see. This is why I hate him so much. And neither did Mario, it seemed. Without another word, they both scrambled out of the Great Hall, away from Jacopo. The white-haired girl was a painfully miserable sight to behold. The cheer had drained from her spirit and the rosy hue from her now pale cheeks. She was hunched forward slightly, looking like a small, scared animal. Say, I'm sorry. This is all my fault. I hadn't asked you to dance, and me bringing the perfume only made things worse. No. You need not feel bad about anything, Maria. Everything you did was with my best interests at heart. So don't worry. I will be fine. So madam, I'll clear everything up. I really am to blame after all. He wouldn't even give you the time of the day if you tried. He's a stubborn little shit when he's mad. I'll talk to him. He's more likely to listen to me. I'll make sure he knows he was jumping to conclusions. That I'm the one who dragged you out there. I can't speak. I can't speak anymore. I've lost the ability to speak and read. I'm saying. Also that I forced you to. I'll be sure that he knows he was jumping to conclusions. I'm the one who dragged you out there to dance, and also that I forced you to wear the perfume. I'll clear everything up, okay? So please, cheer up. It would be best if I could tell him myself. But yes, you're right. He would likely not listen to me. He rarely ever listens to me. I should be ashamed. I can't even hold a simple conversation with my own husband. Yeah, these things happen, you know? It's not easy being married, in a lot of ways. Yes, you're right. I apologize for having you do something so unpleasant, but I would appreciate that. No problem, I'm happy to. No need to apologize, I've got this. I'll dunk his head in cold water till he's not blowing steam from his ears anymore. I'll cool him down, promise. And you never know, maybe he'll be open to listening. You could be back to the way you were a year ago in no time. Don't you worry, I'll take care of it, madam. Be positive, you look so much better with a smile on your face. Everyone always says that. Alright. Thank you. I doubted Jacopo will listen, even coming from Maria. I'd imagine the white-haired girl felt much the same way. However, she grabbed onto that sliver of hope. She let herself dream. She let herself believe, even just faintly, that everything would go well. Such is human nature. When uncertainty has you in its clutches, you grasp at whatever hope you can find to keep yourself afloat. That night, she did not sleep. She was afraid that even her dreams, Jacob would be shouting at her. She felt as though her memories of a year prior were beginning to crumble away. Good, you should just leave him. I mean, it'd be hard for her to find, I mean, that's the thing. The biggest thing is like her like finding a place to live, I guess, and everything. But like realistically, but also I think, well, I mean, the reason the white-haired girl is here is probably because she's also somehow connected to the house as well, like supernaturally, just like the maid. So she probably can't leave also because of that, No matter what, she's kind of cursed to stay here. Maybe not. I don't know. I remember her leaving. Well, in Mel's story though, she did leave. However, when she got shaved, lost her hair, she did wear like a robe or whatever, and go out like be a beggar, I guess. So it's not like she can't leave technically. I don't know how. Well, next morning, Jacob stood alone in the den by the billiards table. He appeared to be rather agitated. His face was twisted to a frown, his pointer finger tapping restlessly against the hard surface of the table. Evidently no longer able to stay in one place, he paced a circle around the table, then swiped up a rack and cue, setting up a game of 9-ball. I am not intimately familiar with the ways by which men entertain themselves, but in truth I was bewitched by the sight of him leaning over the table. It almost just seemed as though a steel rod ran straight from his shoulder to the tip of his outstretched finger, upon which the cue was secured by another finger looped over it. With a smooth flowing motion, he thrust the cue forward slightly, pulling it back and repeating the process once more, before ramming it into the cue ball, sending it rolling into the diamond of colored balls. A chorus of clicks and clacks emanated from the center of the room. Balls collided. Yes, balls collide. No, balls collide with one another and ricocheted off the cushioned walls, a few landing in the pockets situated around the edge of the table. Jacob appeared to have accomplished this with little trouble, but I imagine merely striking the cue ball with a stick would be rather difficult for someone inexperienced. But despite his accomplishment, it seemed to only exasperate his agitation. Lousy positioning, he muttered, though I hadn't the faintest idea what he was talking about. What should have been a game for his enjoyment he went about with a constant look of exasperation. I suspect he was using it as a way to blow off steam, and as a result the tension in the air was palpable. I felt it would be improper to intrude upon him, even considering my distaste for the man. There was an undeniable beauty in every motion he made, every perfectly audible clack of billiard balls bouncing off one another. It was an enchanting sight. Like, if nothing else, he's really good at hitting balls with a big stick. But then, someone without the slightest regard or appreciation for beauty came marching in with a hammer to shatter it like glass. Gotta say, that was pretty impressive. A man leaned against the frame of the open door. He was neither a resident nor a worker of the mansion. The man's face was covered in a scraggly stubble, his body draped in grime-caked garments. Oh, hello, Acorn. Sorry you're late? Well, that's fine. I mean, you can watch the stream whenever you want. It is, this is always a problem, though. When people come in the middle of a stream, especially if, when I do something that's very narrative-focused, like a visual novel, it is a little confusing sometimes if you probably just come in the middle. But hey, if you're interested in this game, so far, you could probably watch the VODs on Twitch. And also it'll be on YouTube eventually as well. But anyway, what's going on? Faces was grabbing his red drop in grime-caked garments. His eyes were sunken so deep, it was as though I was looking at a fleshless skull, though there was a fair glimmer in them. Needless to say, he was not prim and proper. Okay. How long have you been there? Tommaso? What is his name? Tomato? Tommaso? Tomaso? Anyway. Not long, but man, I can't help laughing. You were complete in your own world there. What do you want? Why don't you send a maid for me? Don't be such a hard ass, we ain't strangers, man. Why should family have to go through the maids to see you? That just ain't right, brother. Your door should always be open to family. Enough. I'm not your family. We're bound by something even stronger than blood. Our family. Our Koska. Whatever that means. Don't. You only ever bring up the Koska when it's in your interests. Oh, scary. Come on now, what happened to you, little Jack? Where'd the little boy who used to call me Uncle Tommy go? Don't you dare use that forsaken name. Get the hell out of my sight. What in God's name are you doing here? The man hailed from the same country as Jacopo. They had a peculiar relationship, though they were not blood related. He referred to Jacopo as family. Is it... Well, I'm trying to think. Is this like implying that he was part of a mafia, maybe? You know? There was like a hint that he was from Italy, right? And you know how what they say about, you know, the Italy and Italia, or Italia? I don't know what I'm saying, but you know, Italian immigrants and organized crime, usually, at least, you know, at the time anyway. They came from a sunny island in the Mediterranean Sea, a place of many unique customs and an entire underground society. Though again, Mediterranean Sea, I'm so bad with geography, I actually don't know where the Mediterranean Sea is, to be honest. Is it like that? Is that close? Is that Italy, or I'm just guessing? I might be completely wrong, but I assume that's where Jacopo comes from. Koska was a word that originated from and referred to those underworld families. It will be another 30 years or so before organizations like theirs received much public attention. At the time, they were not widely known. Just a short step into the future when they would grow so powerful that the very mention of them would send a chill through the room, yeah. So I'm really thinking, yeah, it's like the beginnings of the literal mafia. And now, that's no way to talk to a fellow Brazzati. You're on the short list to become the next Capo Famiglia. Capo Famiglia. Okay. We respect our brothers. That's how we operate. I could go home and say you threw me out of your house. How'd you like those rumors to spread? The soon-to-be Capo Famiglia wouldn't even listen to a little request. I very much doubt anything you say. Anything you say could damage my reputation. I ain't been exiled yet. And so long as I'm still one of them, they won't ignore me. Oh, that's some mighty fine-looking whiskey you got there. What mind if I do? Nothing here is for you to drink. Booze is my lifeblood, man. No love for a brother? You worthless leech. It surely won't be long before you find yourself in exile. If you're lucky enough to get off the hook with just exile, that is. A child could snap that scrawny neck of yours. If I'm gonna go, I'd rather go tied up, tortured for days, covered in tiny little cuts from head to toe. You sick bastard. You disgust me. Call me a carnal adventurer, okay? I despise the mundane. Last thing I want is to go out like a wet fart. Is this what you came for? To waste my time with your insipid nonsense? Oh, hardly. Surely you have an idea what I'm here for, and how much I need. You damn maggot. A worthless leech, a sick bastard, a damn maggot. What are the names you got up your sleeve for me? You son of a... Do you honestly think this is how you ask for a favor? Oops, excuse me. I beg of thee, oh esteemed future Capo Famiglia. I'm bone broke. Not even money to put bread on the table. Could you spare a little for a brother? You brought this on yourself, I'm sure. I hear more than enough stories about you, and hardly any of them pleasant. Drinking, gambling, debauchery. I'm humiliated to be in the same Koska as you. You want to make your money playing, you gotta learn the game first. Says the one who played himself into oblivion. By Bethesda, no, anyway. Now, do you honestly believe I'll give you anything? Oh, but you will. You got no choice. Koska rules, you're required to help a fellow countryman. Especially considering how few of us there are stranded in this colossal landmass. You won't even notice the money's missing. Ain't because you can't, because you don't wanna. But Jacobo, being a tight ass does nothing for you. Me coming to you for help keeps your good name clean. That's the thing about being boss. You quietly keep little shits like me out of trouble, so that trouble don't come raining back on you. You don't seem to understand your place. Rather than lecturing me, you should be on your hands and knees begging and crying for my help. If that's what you want, I'll gladly comply. Happy to kiss your boots while I'm at it. Don't even think about it. Know this, there won't be a second time. I will be reporting your conduct to the family back home. Before, I'll look forward to seeing how they deal with you. Just try to have a little mercy, would you? Hey, is there a maid around you? It doesn't matter who. How may I serve you, master? This maid in particular. Get a single stack from the safe. Here's the key. It goes without saying, but don't touch anything else. Give me the money to that man as you're escorting him out the door. As you wish. Is that all you needed? Yes, now get to it. Very well. Excuse me. Well, that's one look of a maid you got there. There's something, I don't know, eerie, strange about her. Fancy that, we agree on something. How long has she been working here? Couldn't tell you. As I recall, she came to the house. Part of the complete package, you see. Is that the kind of woman you fancy? A gal you can't read will always be interesting. Is that so? Now that he mentions it, how old is that woman? Well, 2 centuries, at least. Though I suppose it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, Jacobo. One other thing I wanted to talk to you about. What is it this time? If it's more of your blather, I will shoot you dead where you stand. Now, no need for threats. This one's about your, better half. What about my wife? Well, to put it simply, yeah. She came to me asking for advice, looking a little distressed. My wife asked you for advice. Yep. From the sounds of it, you're pretty rough with the little lady. That just ain't right, man. You managed to snag yourself a broad that pretty, I'll treat her at least a little better, you hear? She looks good with a smile. You gotta make her show it to you every once in a while. Why would she come to you about that? Don't ask me. Maybe she ain't got no one else to talk to. For whatever it's worth, I am part of the same Casca. Guess she thought I'd get through to you easier. Really? You just have to put a little more thought into how you act around her, and she'll be smiling for you like always. Oh yeah, I've just got the thing. Women love this stuff. I'm sure she'll be thrilled. Is that perfume? Have you heard? Everyone's talking about it. I'm a big fan of this stuff too. Smells great. Pretty girl smiles at you wearing some of this. Any man be in love in an instant. You never given her nothing fashionable before, have you? Maybe it looked just like scent and water, but you can't let that fool you. Go on, give it to her. Look, you like a nice smelling lady too, don't you? Well, better say give a different flavor to your nighttime excitement. Okay. Vanilla. Well, I said my piece by taking my leave. Don't want to keep your maid waiting too long and get her a bad side. Hold on, Tommaso. Why would she... Make it last. That's all the advice your Uncle Tommy has for you. Ciao. Wait, Tommaso. Okay. I imagine Tommaso has some kind of probably an Italian accent. I don't know how to do it. The only one, well, it's not really Italian. But whenever I think of that accent, I think of like, hey, I'm walking here, But that's not it. That's something else. That's like New York, I think, or something. Anyway, or Brooklyn. That's not right at all. Anyway, I could go after him. It would be a simple task to catch him, grab him by the neck, make him tell me. Tell me where he spoke with her and what she told him. But why? Why would my legs not move? Asking him for advice, fashionable perfume, her smile. She looks good with a smile. She'll be smiling for you like always. That can't be. She hardly ever smiles around me. Well, you don't say, because you treat her like shit. Hello? But she'll smile for him. Last night, when she was short of breath, having such a grand time wearing that perfume, getting ready to leave the house. Just who was that smile for? God damn it. Do you think I'll let you run free any longer? Okay.